Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Integration Quest MuleSoft study group. Glad to have you all here with us today. It's Digital D again. She is going to be presenting on part 3 of the vibe coding. We're going through this, and we're just getting into this vibe coding. It's the hot topic right now, so happy to have her back and sharing with us what she's been learning about it, and we're all learning together. Thank you so much for being here with us again today. I'm going to go through a couple things as I do before I turn it over to her. Glad to be back myself. I had to take a break for a little bit. And I played back all the videos that I checked back through. Everybody did this. So we've been doing great. Everybody's been following the Integration Quest code of conduct, and everybody's been doing what their mom and dad would have wanted them to do. And we're just glad to see that. The next thing that I was excited to see is we have new subscribers. So people have been following the links. They're hitting that subscribe button. Glad to see you all over there. We've got 3 new subscribers just in the last 3 days. And welcome. Thank you for joining. And we hope and would love to know, like, this is helping you. We just want to help everybody and give you some information that you can use and that's helpful to you. So, keep on hitting that subscribe button, drop some comments if it's helping you out. If you have any recommendations for new videos or new presentations, feel free to share over there on YouTube or anywhere else. So there's a link and people are finding it. We're glad to have everybody there. I've actually been using that resource of information myself because I've been needing to go and check out the second Vibes, the one that I missed. I was, busy. I had an anniversary and wound up having some celebration time there. So I checked it out. So it's a great resource, great way to pull what you might miss. And here's everything that we talk about. We always share what the expertise that everybody has when they're coming and presenting. And like I'm always saying, I'm just so thankful that with that expertise, Diane is willing to share and give back to the community like she's doing, that she's been doing this for a really long time and willing to give back like we all are willing to do. And I'm just thankful that she's doing that. So I'm going to stop presenting. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let her do that very thing. And thank you again, everybody. Just help me give her a warm welcome for being here. And we're going to go through Vibes. I'm going to be following along as well. And as always, I'll check the chat. If you all have any questions while she's going, I'll raise my hand if she doesn't see it, and we'll get questions answered as we go. Okay?
Sounds great. Sounds great. Well, welcome, everybody. I always say that I've got smart friends. And some of you are in the room because I love hearing feedback from you and I appreciate all that. But there's a special smart friend in the room who has really taught many of us. And I want to give a shout out to Alex Martinez for being here today. She's a rock star. She was one of the first ambassadors, one of the first few ambassadors in the MuleSoft community. She's now a developer advocate with Salesforce. Alex, you want to come on camera for a second and wave and say, hey, you should be able to unmute. There you
are. My real camera is not set up yet. So this is my laptop camera.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. And I do want you to share different things along the way too, as we're going. I know you've been kind of getting familiar with Vibes as a result of the videos. It's so funny. We learn from you. You learn from us. We all just kind of help each other as we're going along on this journey. So I'm really glad to see you here.
And I think you're going to know more than me, to be fair, because I'm still like getting started on this.
Well, a lot of it too is dependent upon Anypoint Code Builder. And so I'm really learning more there because I know you were doing a great job in troubleshooting some of our issues early on. And it seems to be better, but I still find a few hiccups here and there. So at any rate, let's roll with this. And I wanted to be sure to thank you for being here and also giving a shout out on LinkedIn about it. So let's dive in. Let's dive in. So one thing about Vibes, I like to say, a lot of people are a little bit resistant sometimes, oh my gosh, AI is going to take my job. No, it's not about replacing us. It's about giving you a sidekick, your AI coding partner to come in and kind of give us some, things we may not have thought about or assisting us in building out the code. So as we're working with this, you know, I'm finding it is helping me build faster. Debugging is really awesome. If you remember from our previous sessions, you know, it was going through and doing Maven clean and Maven build, and then it would even, you know, so it's kind of, you can watch what it's doing. So it's really pretty cool. Today, our mission is to go through and one second, let me get my, there we go. Okay, so our mission today is I'm going to do a quick review on Vibes using Anypoint Code Builder, just mostly to help us remember all of its abilities. We're using just a small segment of it. We're going to create a new Mule app together, hands-on keyboard. We're going to configure a database connection. I've got a database credentials to share with you, and we're going to have Vibes do that. Okay, I want to see its capabilities. Have I tested this myself yet? Nope. So we're going to do this together. This is why it's kind of like the study group in a college study environment, because you know, we're really going to just pioneer on this. So I've got a new database for us. It's an orders database, customer orders database. And then we're going to use, we're going to transform the data in DataWeave and you know, have an idea of the requirements that we want for our output, and then we'll test it out. So that's our mission today. That's our mission today. So while I'm doing this, if you want to go ahead and spin up Visual Codes or Anypoint Code Builder, go ahead and bring that up. If Vibes can relieve the drudgery of documentation and automated testing, then it's worth the price of admission. No doubt. No doubt. That is true. It created for me an MD, like a README document in Markdown. Tony, I was really impressed with that. I wonder if I can bring it up. I'll see if I can find it to share it. But it was pretty impressive what it brought up, you know, for, you know, just a README document to go with my specification. So that was cool. So what is MuleSoft Vibes? It is leveraging AI as your coding partner. And the for us, we're going to use the developer, you know, entitlement. So I guess you could say the features. And so as we're doing this, we first had to do a few things to set this up, and you can catch part 1 and then part 2 on how to do all of that. I'm going to do a quick review of some of that, but it also is very useful for architects to, you know, in our case, you're going to see developers, but admins and ops. So do know that there are other areas we're going to continue to explore with this, you know, as we're going forward, or have featured speakers on. So if you know and you've used it as an architect using the architect features, ping us. Come on, get in here. Let's all work on this together and really explore it, as well as ops and admins. So, you know, I know that a trial account does not have the agent fabric features, but we could do some demoing off of our partner org that we have that does have it, or my my community org, so, or Anypoint platform. So we've got some things we can tag and perhaps use there too. But in order for this to work, just so you know, and again, you can catch this in part 1, how to get it set up, you have to have an Anypoint. You can use a trial account, an Anypoint platform trial account. It will expire in 30 days, but it does work. And then you can use the Salesforce developer org, and that one doesn't expire as long as you keep it alive. But you have to have both of them configured, do the handshake, go through the process. It's on part 1. Check it out. Once you've got that set up, then you go into Anypoint Code Builder, and in Anypoint Code Builder, you will be able to, you know, trigger it up. It actually handshakes with your account in your Anypoint platform account, and then you're good to go. Okay. So as it's prompting back and forth, we can use natural language. How does that work? Through an MCP server. Okay, it comes bundled in with your MCP server, and that is how it is actually, you can actually see what it's using in the window and see what, like, you know, if we tell it to do certain things, we're going to be able to focus on what command it's using inside the MCP server that's bundled in with Vibes. So we'll start with a prompting. then we'll fine tune it more, and then we'll have it act upon it. So there's, between the planning side and acting upon it, there's two different modes. You can see the act mode will trigger in to act, and it will build out your code. All right. So are you feeling the vibes? Here we go. Let's get going. So I've got Visual Code Studio up and running, and so hopefully you have as well. And so we're going to start this off today. What we're going to do is like I said, we're going to create a Mule app. So you want to start off in your workspace. I went ahead and set up a workspace. And now if you are logged in and you did that handshake we talked about between Salesforce and Anypoint, then you should be ready with the Vibes icon here. Okay, there is some prompting between getting that activated, but it should be showing. If not, let us know in the comments. We'll help you troubleshoot things later if you're watching this after the fact, or we'll be glad to kind of move you forward. But in the Vibes component here, again, notice that I'm actually on the act. The act is highlighted. I want to bring it back over into the plan. Okay, so those of you following along, let's go ahead and get in the planning stage. And we're just going to start talking to it in natural language. I want to create a Mule app. I'm not starting with a specification this time. We're just going to go right into a Mule app. Okay, specifications, we saw that last week. We're going to now go into just creating a Mule app that's going to have a database, and we're going to transform some data. I want to create a Mule application for orders that will connect to, now I do want 2 endpoints. So I'm only going to tell it that I want 1 endpoint right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and tell it that I want to do another endpoint. So I'm going to start off with, I want to create a Mule application to get orders that will connect to a PostgreSQL database. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay. And again, you can see as it's going through the planning, what it's pinging and what it's going to be utilizing along the way. All right. So now it's got some questions for me. How should the application be triggered? A REST endpoint. I'm going to go ahead and click on I want a REST API. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start answering these questions. I want a REST API. You can either put in the message down below, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and give the answers there. All right, there you go. Has a question again. Perfect, REST API. Now it says, okay, I need a few more details. Do you have an existing database? Number 1. Okay, so I'm going to put number 1 here. And yes, I do have a database, and I'm going to share that in the chat. And this one is, there you go, coming in the chat for you to add here is the details for the database. Should be able to just copy that, and let's see what it does if we just give it all that information. And then the order data structure, filtering options, API endpoints. I'm going to say, let's answer the other questions too. If yours, now, what's weird is you might be getting different prompts or questions than I am. So just answer them, similarly with what I'm doing. Or you could even in turn just tell it, here is my database details. But I'm going to go ahead and go down the order and go with 1. Number 2, my question is order data structure, what fields? I will provide this in a moment because I do have the JSON that I want it to do. Number 3, filtering options, which filters should be most useful? Customer ID, and then number 4, well, customer ID and order status. Let's go with that because we're going to do some things with that. Number 4, I'm going to say, yes, this is fine because it's asking me, should this be a single orders endpoint? And I'm just going to say yes. Okay, so it gave me these here, but I'm going to go ahead and provide the 1, 2, 3, 4 answers and go ahead and send in my answers there. So you've got a couple ways you can communicate with it. As you see, I'm kind of giving it the answers. Or you can click the boxes like we did at the very first. And now it's given the plan. Given the plan. All right, let's see what it's doing. Boy, it's busy. Let's see. And so these, okay, so we have a single REST endpoint. That's the get orders. And then we want to filter by customer ID and status. And those are going to be query parameters. That's good. And then we also we probably could go ahead and tell it. No, I'm going to wait. I want to wait on the get orders by order ID. I'm going to wait on that. All right. So it's coming back with, okay, we have an HTTP listener, database connector, DataWeave transformations, error handling, property configuration to externalize our database credentials. Nice. There's the database config. Okay, so this plan looks pretty good. Did you guys get a pretty decent plan on yours? Let me know in the chat. My plan looks pretty good. Now it's wanting to know, would you like me to proceed or do I have any modifications? I'm ready for it to proceed. I'm going to go ahead, proceed. Okay, and now that database, that is an orders database that I recently spun up for some a workshop that I'm doing in Chicago next week. It's a Postgres, Stephen. Postgres database. And the credentials I gave you are read only for right now. No reflection on you all and no reflection on anybody watching this, but I put it read only for the time being. And those of you that may want to do more with that database after next week, because like I said, I'm doing a workshop. After next week, I'll release, where you can post and patch it as well. I don't mind that, but I just needed to sanitize it and have it ready for next week anyway. All right, so now let's see what it's asking. They need, the order data schema fields. Okay. Name table in Postgres. I thought I gave it the name table. Yeah, we gave it the name table, the database. Oh, no, we didn't. The table. All right, so let's tell it the table name is orders. So I'm going to go back with number 1 and the table name is orders. And I do have the schema for the column names and all of that. Now, you know what? I want to see if it'll use DataSense for the, so number 2, instead of giving it the column names and data types, let's see if it can use DataSense. So I'm going to say for number 2, where it's asking column names and data types, can you use DataSense to determine the columns and data types? I would, right? If we were making this in studio, I would do that. All right. And now number 3 is the sample data structure. Okay. So that is my output JSON. Hang one second. Let me grab that for you. I should have had that queued up. My apologies. I will get it pretty quick. So I'm going to where I actually have a specification that does use this. This is part of my testing out for the workshop that I'm doing. And so this is the actual API that I'll use later. But for right now, I want to get Vibes to do a lot of this. So let's, here is our output. So I'm going to copy that and I'll put this in here in the chat for you. So let's say, oh, it truncated it. Darn it. Hang on. I have to pop it in a code show real quick. Hold on. All right. So coming in a code share. Go ahead and grab this. And I'm going to say this is, I'm going to give it the example of what we're looking for. So, all right. So now number 3, sample data structure. There we go. It should be able to figure that out. I would think. Let's see. Or we blow it up, one or the other. So let's send in that. And like I said, depending on what you get, you might have different things. So now we're being very specific. Do you remember the first few ones we did? We told it to come up with common names. And so we kind of worked with what it had, which was kind of neat. But now we're like telling it exactly what we want. Did it say if it could use, yeah, database configuration with DataSense? Interesting. Let's see what it does. All right, so mine has a plan. Here's the plan. It's vibes with a plan. All right, so we have our get orders. We've got some query parameters. We gave it the table with orders. When I asked it about DataSense, it says, yes, I'll use DataSense to automatically detect column types and structure. Isn't that cool? And it has, oh, it even knows, I guess it does know from the URL that it's a DigitalOcean PostgreSQL and SSL is enabled. So it's going to create for me on mine, source main mule global, the orders XML, and our property files with the database and HTTP connector. There's a SQL query. Nice. So sweet SQL queries coming in, error handling strategy, security configurations. All right, so mine's ready. And you can either click it to act mode here, or you can flip it down at the bottom. Either way, it's going to do the same thing. Unless you had to change anything, if there was something that you needed to modify or whatever, you can make those changes. Anybody think of anything that needs to be changed? Act up mode. Yeah, really. It better not, Tony. It's going to behave this time. I just know it. All right, let's hit it. Act up mode. Now that's going to stick in my mind. All right, so we triggered it. We can close the welcome page. Mine's got the welcome page up, so I'm going to close that. All right, so it's creating the project path. Project name is Orders API. Go ahead. Does someone have a question? Oh, I think it was an open mic. You all can hear me, yes?
Yeah, you're sounding great. Everything's sounding good. It was a mic that came unmuted.
Okay.
By accident.
All right.
All good.
RJ and I were working on the workshop that I'm doing next week, and we were recording some things, and my computer totally froze. I mean, it just bombed. Anyway, okay, so that's why I was like, am I okay? Can you guys hear me? Alrighty, so here I have mine set to that I want to manually approve everything because I want you to see what it's doing. If I'm really going to be working, I may just let this fly. So you can control that by changing the automatic approval or not. And I'm going to manually approve mine. So now, oh, well, yeah, that's true. I didn't create it. But you know what? It's going to create it for me. And when mine failed that the Mule project was not created. So now I'm going to tell it, go ahead and improve it. Okay, so now it should be working on that. See the project path. So it's moving forward. And what's cool is now you'll actually see also, in addition, the MCP server commands that it's going to use to do different things. So you'll see some of that. Okay, so there is the files it's creating. It's working. There's the project path. All right, so I'm going to say approve again. But here's the commands here. That is right there. That's one of the commands in the MCP server. That generate mule flow is a command. Okay, so we'll click approve. Resume task. Which connector was set up? Generic for Postgres. Which connector was set up, generic or Postgres? If the connection pooling was set up with a, I don't know. Mine is still working, so I don't know what it's going to use. In the real deal, when I did set mine up, I set mine up with the generic configuration. But let's see what this comes up with. No rooster crowing in the background this week. True story. I don't have a window open. I think that's part of it. The other part is I don't hear him. So maybe he's busy being a dad. I guess with 6 chicks running around, it would be a little bit busy. All right, I got code happening here. Code is happening. There is the database configuration. Oh, we could have told it we could have told it that we wanted to use config.yaml. Alex, do you know why that keeps popping up? That I may have done something wrong?
Yeah. Can you show me your files and folders? Like in VS Code?
Yep. Oh, in VS Code itself?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you have DB Vibes open, and it should be the orders API, the one that you should have open.
Okay. So this.
Yeah, that has to be the root folder. So we just have to open another window and open just that folder.
All right. How would I?
Open another VS Code or go to file, sorry, at the top, and then open folder and select the orders API one. So go inside there. Yeah, and then select folder.
Okay. And that will make it happy. Oh, see, that's important. Awesome. Yeah. I kept getting that and I'm like, what am I doing? And makes sense. Okay, so everybody remember when that popped up before? So essentially what we just did is we reopened just that one, right? Instead of having the other level open. We opened the root, I guess. We made it the root. Does that make sense? All right, let's take a look at what we have here. Source main, Mule. And we've got our orders XML. All right. Did yours create some flows for you? I think there's primary, just one flow, retrieve orders flow. We have an HTTP listener. We've got our pass. So now this is if we have. Oh, okay, Stephen, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it changed the file structure at all, Tony. I think that's okay. And Stephen, the generic connector has performance issues in your previous project. Interesting. I think, I know if we do Postgres, though, that's the only option to use for the database connector is under the generic. So Well, let's see what happens here. So this is if we have a customer number as a query parameter, set order status if we wanted to search on different order status, or maybe all of the escalated orders or something like that. And then here is our query text for our database. That's interesting. We're doing it like that. It's an inline script. And then the query itself is using this query text here. That's an interesting way of doing it. Have y'all ever seen doing the query like that before? We normally put our query text right here, you know. But all right. So, and then the transform. Let's look at this. Okay, so here is our transform, and it is pulling up the names from the database here. Okay, so we can see that it's managing that, although it doesn't like this. I wonder what the deal is. Expecting an array but got a query string. Expecting an array. I don't know if we've got an issue there or not. We shall find out. Well, let's run this. Let's see what we get. I wonder if we can test our database connection in globals. Let's go to global. Let's go to global. And look at the global XML code. So this is where it gets tricky for me to navigate around, you know, to see what we normally see in Studio is like looking at our global details. Let me see if it can open to the side. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, we'll go back to the XML and let's run this. Top right. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Thanks, Evan. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So under our configuration properties, we have, okay, test connection. All right. So that's the listener. Let's test the connection on the database. Test the connection on the database. Failed to perform connectivity issue. Well, that's not good. Maybe saving too. I want to go through and save. I see that is our test connection is not good. So we know if we try to run it, it's going to fail. All right, so let's go talk to Vibes. And we're going to tell it what just happened. I tested the database connection and it has failed. Can you tell me why? Let's see what it comes back with. And while that's running, I need to step away for just 1 second and let somebody in. I will be right back. So bear with me while that's working. I'll be right. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a poor connection. Can y'all hear me okay? Cue the elevator music. Can you hear me? Okay. 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 Yeah, let me do that. Let me do that. Okay, so let's see. It says it's analyze. Your global XML file lacks any database connector config. Missing database. Oh my goodness. Is it slacking or what? Do you see this? Well, that makes sense. Let's take a look at the config.yaml file. So we're going to source main resources and look at the config file. Well, it's there. Why is Vibes not seeing it? Let's see. Add the database configuration to the global with the proper element. I'm going to say, go ahead and fix that. Let's see what it does. Because I see the details are here. I don't know, Tony. When I start laughing, it's because Tony's put something funny in the chat, or anybody has. At any rate, it just cracks me up. Is Vibes accountable? Does it take responsibility for its slacking mistakes? We will hold it accountable. Oh, look, Maven clean compile. Gonna run that command. I think I shared with you all last week that it was like out of order for doing a specification and then creating the implementation. So somehow in the process, it got out of order. And I had to like rein it back in and say, okay, start all over again. All right, so it says it's added it. Oh, the dependency wasn't in the POM file. Okay, it said it tested the connection. Look at that. Tested connection successfully. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to the global and I'm going to test it again here. Yeah, nice work, huh? It's saying it failed to perform. It says it's successful, but I'm seeing that it's not. I'll tell you what, let's run the
This is not
application.
runtime testing, so the property value should be hard-coded when you want to run.
So the property value needs to be
Currently, that's configured as a variable, but when you test it not on the runtime, yeah, it cannot retrieve the property value from the property files.
Ah, why?
Yeah,
in
the runtime, it will be loaded to the memory, but
Yeah.
this is just inside the IDE.
You know, though,
it's
but
the same as Anypoint Studio.
But in Studio, I can test it.
You can test it, and then you also have to set up a environmental variable and reach the property file and load.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Is that in the global? Because you're right. Although we do have our configuration file property here.
Another thing, check the global file and see if property loader has been set up to load the properties.
There's the configuration properties file, config properties here.
In the global file.
Yeah, I'm in global here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm there. And so that's pointing to it. See, in Studio, this would work.
Yeah,
even
Studio
pre-testing it. And in Studio, this would work. It pre-test. See, this is what's fun about a study group. We can we need to investigate this, right?
Yes.
So I would think, and Alex, hold me honest here, is that this test connection should work based on everything we're seeing in the configuration, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the HTTP listener. Okay, it's valid. I'm going to try the test connection again, and it's not.
Can you hover over the db.url, for example?
db.url.
like the property
In
down. Yeah.
in my global
Line 12.
12. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, it is reading it because it says current
Oh,
value.
and that's cool too. See, Alex, you're bringing new sunshine to this thing too. If you mouse over the names. Okay. Cool.
So I don't know, it should actually test it because it is reading it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's run it. Sometimes running it, produces different results. Maybe it will work. Let's try. So go ahead and run your application. Let's see if it's going to build. Let me scoot these over and bring this up. So it's interesting. It did test it over here, but why it's not working in the interface. And I know a big thing that I didn't do before, Alex, I don't know if you remember it or not. I was not good at, I did not remember to save any changes. Well, it just deployed. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and test it and see what we get. It's coming up. Advanced REST client's on its way. I'm a little curious about this account we're using to make sure that that integration user is going to work. Integration _ user. I did not test that user. I may end up flipping it and giving you the admin one. All right. Let us see. My advanced REST client is really misbehaving. So I could do a command. Let me get it in here. Go post. All right, here we go. All right, mine failed. Trying to load the driver. Cannot load org driver. Has no package mapping for. All right, let's take this error message and put this in Vibes. We're going to say, just put the message there. Boom. Let's see what it says. So this is the part I really like, is it'll troubleshoot. It says, I see the issue. The driver dependency needs to be declared as a shared library. Interesting. It's updating the POM file, wants to do another Maven clean compile. Instead of us, having to dig deep and troubleshoot a lot of this, it just built it. All right, let's see. It added as a shared library. That's interesting. All right, so the build was success. I'm going to restart it. Because I did get the same. Yeah, so this is a good opportunity as we're going through all of these things to see maybe even things we would request, right? That we would like to be able to see. All right, so deployed. I'm going to send the request in again. Relation orders does not exist. Well, that is the database table. Just verifying here. Yeah, it is definitely it. Let's see what it says. Position 15. So that's going to be another troubleshooting issue. Retrieve orders. Let me go ahead and close these for now too, so we can see what it's doing better. So we'll let it working for us. And while that's doing it, let me see. 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Dbeaver. That's pretty, isn't it? Oh, double check the database. Customer orders. Oh. Okay, so we need to give it the right name of the table. All right, well, darn it. I think I messed it up. All right, so let me tell it that the table name, so I'll give that name to you also. Let me grab this here. I'll just grab it here because it's easy to copy it from there, from the command. You won't be running the SQL command, but here we go. All right, so there is the table names there, customer underscore orders and customer underscore orders underscore items. My apologies. I will say, I'll own it. I'll own it. Whoops. The table names are, and I'll go ahead and put that in there, but let me just trim it down so I'm only giving it the name of the tables. Now let's see. Let's see if it chews me out. Well, you should have told me that in the first place.
No, it'll be nice.
Task completed. Boy,
Nick was asking a question in the chat, and you get to a good place where you're waiting for it to do something for you.
Does the database table name need prepended with a namespace? I've never had to do that as long as I had the correct table name. Little Bobby, did that answer, Nick, what you were looking for? All right, let's restart it and see if it's happy at last. Little Bobby Tails. All right, Tony, you need to tell us about that. I don't know. Oh, the cartoon about telling the school to sanitize their SQL inputs. Is there a backstory there? I need to hear the story. I think there's a story there. All right, let's see if it's going to behave now. Oh my goodness, it's still not happy. You know what? It did not. I'm going to stop it and rerun it. Maybe it did not catch that change. Let's try it again. And the other part will be that we want to do, if we can get past this, would be to have it do something different on our transform message, for our DataWeave. So hopefully we will get to this. Deployed. It is still not happy. At least mine is not happy. Error relation orders does not exist. I'm going to copy this whole message here. Well, I'll say, look at the error in the console for this application. Why are we getting this error type? Let's see if it'll go to the console. It did. All right. So it's fixing things. You know, it's interesting though. It'll ultimately fix things. Yeah, you almost have to like keep working at it, right? You know, like we just did. Let's see if this will get it. Is the query it executes updated to use? Mine didn't, apparently, right? Mine did not, because it was still coming back with orders, and it should have been the table, right? All right. Moment of truth. Not that. Sorry. Moment of truth. Vibes is changing the database creation scripts, though not the select statement. Good call, Nick. Yeah. I do think that it's interesting to see it work, but I do see that it's a bit challenged sometimes. I'm going to put that in here, Nick. Vibes is changing the not the select statement. Let's see what it says. So anyway, as you can tell, you know, we could go and run through. I mean, I want to get us into the database, but sometimes it takes a lot of, you know, when you're using Vibes, other than us just stepping in and making the changes, I'm really trying to rely on Vibes, you know, to test it out, you know. Line 14, Evan. Okay. Select from orders. Yeah, right there. Mine's line 14, but you're right. I see it there. So it's the transform message that needs to be updated. I'm going to make it do it. Yeah, really. Good catch, Evan. For sure. It needs to be changed to customer _ orders. Let's see if it'll nail it. All right. It looked like it did. Approve. I'm going to restart it. Now we can have that elevator music playing. Do, 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 or the Jeopardy song.
Yeah, Q that. I spelled it with a Q the first time because I thought it was Q, you know, like the way it sounds, but it's actually with a C.
Yes.
I sent that and I'm like, that doesn't look right. I went and looked it up. So yeah, cue that elevator music. That's why I just need to unmute and not type so I don't spell things wrong, right?
Well, Q is such a weird word anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Tony. I felt like Q would work. My music library says it all over the place, you know, so.
Position 40, order date does not exist. Order date does not exist. Oh, position 40. All right, let's. We got past that one. Now, okay, now check the error. Yeah, it's just entertaining to me, I think, to really see how it's managing things. I can see the issue in using the DB. The property name is DB is integration. However, looking at the Postgres connection, it might be expecting a different format. Did anyone get theirs to work so far? Anyone's running at this point? All right, let's see if it is ready. It is running. Sending it in. Mine's still hung up on the order date. Well, order date. Order by order date. I'm going to take the parameters out first and not use those. Let's remove, I'm going to tell mine. Let's remove the code for the query parameters. We could just get our data. My Vibes is not connecting today, although I did it recently. We'll fix it later. So I'm not. Okay, Nick, understand. Yeah, I'm going to pull out the query parameter stuff. Just trying to do the searching on some of that and see if it's going to come back with a little less. All right, so I'm going to stop it. I'm going to run it again. Let it recompile. And customer orders, that looks good. Transform into JSON response. All right, we've simplified it. We simplified it. Let's see what happens. All right, here we go.
Is there any battery base?
Say that again.
I'm reading your screen there. You're good.
Yeah, I'm still getting order date does not exist. Where is it looking for order date? Select all from customer orders. Order by, okay. You know what? It's all right. You don't need to worry about that. I just want to see the customer orders. You don't even have to do that. So let's save it. And, oh, look, you know what it did? It took out the transform messages to create the query text too. Okay, I'm good with that. Because that was in there before. Has anyone ever seen doing it that way? Where you create your query text separately and then have it use it in your select statement? I've never done it that way. Tony, does VS Code have a project-wide text search feature? I think it does. If you do, what is it for a regular search? F. What's the search shortcut? Woohoo! Look what we got. We got null, but we did at least get some of the we got a bunch of nulls. Well, nulls is better than nothing, but that is we're at least getting past those other weird errors. I wonder if it is. All right, so here is our transform message, and we still do have this. I don't know if it's kind of like a error alert type of thing. Come on, scroll down. Okay, I'm going to say, what is wrong with our transform message? Better yet, hang on a minute. Remove all of that and just put payload. Let's just do a simple transform. Yeah, for sure. I want to see if we're getting data. We should be getting data, but yeah, breakpoint on that would work to see what's there. I just switched to a simple transform of what we're getting. I'm just curious to see if we are getting any data there. That's another way of testing it. All right. Okay, sending it in. What do we get? All right, we're getting data. We are getting data. So this is something in the transform message. So I confirm data is coming back. Okay. So now we're going to work on our DataWeave portion. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this output. Okay. And I'm going to tell it that I want to transform this down. First of all, let me say, here is the response. But I want to transform this down to my desired requirements. I will post that JSON next. All right, so there's our desired output. Now let's go back and get our JSON. That should be in our code share somewhere. I don't know what it's doing. It's doing something. I did not tell it to do anything. Let me see what it's doing. Let's go get our code share. And this is what I want for its output. Okay. So this is kind of what we had set before. Transform the data for this payload output. Now let's see what it's going to do. It's working. We're giving it a workout, but we did get the database connected. Woohoo. Uh-oh. Okay. It's all right. It came back. All right. It's data weaving. It's data weaving. Why are we getting an expect? I would ask it, why are we getting that error message? Why are we getting that error, that X with a circle? Let's see if it understands this. It may come back with, what are you saying? Why are we getting that X with a circle around it? A red X. Why are we getting that red X with a circle around it in our DataWeave code block? Evan, order ID, order date. Okay. Yeah, what we were getting in our response was straight out from the database. This is straight out from the database. That's what those fields were. I changed it to just a simple transformation into JSON. So these are the field names from the database. And that's not what we want. We want it to transform that. Now, what does it say? And I wonder if it ensures the map function now passes. Okay, so I'm going to stop it from running. I am going to, I think everything got saved anyway. I'm going to tell it, I'm going to be like a mom. Did you apply the changes?
Speaking from experience, that should work.
Yeah. Yeah. You can say for sure, huh? Oh, it just if payload is an array, otherwise if it's an object, it's setting itself up for either or. That's interesting. Our payload's going to be an array though from the database. All right. We shall try it. Let's run it. Run. And let's see. It needs to camouflage those database field names. Yeah, I purposely made the database field names very messy so that we can transform them. Because you never know when you connect to a database what they're going to be. Can you guys hear me okay?
Sounding great. Yeah, we haven't lost you at all now. I haven't on my end.
My system has been freezing, by the way, through the last 3 steps. My system has froze. All right, so I'm going to take a screenshot of the previous payload and let's see what it looks like. Seriously. Oh, maybe it's not running. And we'll see what it looks like. Now it should be right because this looks pretty good over here. Boy, it's really checking for each thing. If else, look at these if else statements in here. Or functions, I should say. Boy, there's a lot of warnings though, and they're still unable to call with arguments ++. It's still not happy. This DataWeave code block it's not happy about that. See, the editor is picking up some things here. All right, well, let's see what we get. Ah, look at that. All right. We got it. We got it, folks. That was our desired, or I should say our requirements, isn't it? Let's see. Order ID, order date, customer number. Do you notice I use Star Wars characters on this? Total amount, yes, yeah, true or false display. Okay. All right. Goal. Very good. Yeah, my system needs to be given to someone who's not going to work it so hard. So I know a Kate who can use this version of my system. I've got to get another one. I had Studio open and Anypoint Code Builder open and Zoom running, and it crashed. It froze, totally froze. But it's been freezing, and I only have Kajabi running, and then then the Kajabi and Anypoint Code Builder. That's it. It's not going to a retirement home. It's going to a home where it will be less worked out. So it's kind of like going into comfort care. It's going to go into comfort care. Okay, mission accomplished, folks. Assisted living. Yeah. What else should we do here? What else do you want to do? Should we add the parameters back? See if we can break it. Okay. Now let's add, what do we want to query off of? Let's do a query parameter for the orderer. I want to do a query on the order status because ultimately what this is being used for in my use case is for letting an Agentforce agent use this data. And so if we can, do a query for it to pull up any, escalate, any orders that need to be escalated or something like that. So let's do order status. Okay, now let's add a query param for, and I misspelled query. It should be able to figure that out though. For order to filter for order status. I'm purposely writing it out so that it has to figure out which one I'm talking about. I didn't put it in camel case, in other words. Yeah, not hospice. No, I think it's got a lot of life to it. It's got 64K or 64 gigabytes of RAM. And it's got, I just require a lot of it. So I'm going to give it to someone who's going to be able to use it more gently, probably. We'll see. Right? All right. So I'm going to restart should do this. You would think that it would. Yeah. I definitely go with that. With the RAM size. All right, so let's see what's going to happen. Here are some of the examples we can use. Get orders, order status processing. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And there it deployed. Oh, I copied the whole thing. I don't need that whole thing. I need this part right there. Let's see what it's going to do. But I'm telling you, this seriously does save us time. Can you imagine, it does save us time in having to do a lot of the coding and stuff like that. Yeah. Wonder if there's more of those. Let's try another one that worked. Exception. It is working. Isn't that beautiful? Let's do delivered. And there's one. Awesome. So it is working. We need more data in that database. I plan on dropping more data in that database. So if you're using this database, I'm going to probably before I get offline today, go ahead and beef up that database a little bit more too. And that way I need more data out there for some of the things I'm doing for the workshop. So there you have it. What else might we want to add? We've got a choice router happening here now. Cool. Let's add some loggers using the correlation ID. Okay. So, okay. This worked great. It's froze right now, by the way. I can't type. I can hear my fan running too. Come on, recover. Let me shut a few things down here. Yeah, I cannot type, but can you hear me? Sorry to keep asking for that.
Yeah, that's cool that it freezes up, but your audio is still allowed to go through. So that's a plus.
Yeah. We will fix this problem. Come on. If your hands on keyboard, try doing that. It's not doing anything. I'm going to stop it. Not that that has anything to do with it. Oh, now it's ready. Okay. That worked. Great. I always like to tell AI that I appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, now let's add loggers, giving status. Let's see, before choice, after database, or the selects, and after transform. Well, there is one after the transform. That's good. We'll just do those three. It should be three. But include the correlation ID and appropriate status message for each. Bing. All right, let's see what it comes up with. And then this will be our last one. We're getting pretty close to time here. You are running an IDE in the cloud, just saying.
He's right. I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but even on my system, any point code builder and doing this, it just starts, I can tell everything starts slowing down. It's weird.
My Visual Code Studio, or my ACB is local though.
Right.
I'm not using cloud based. Mine's locally installed.
Yeah, so that shouldn't even bother it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, local it would. Local it would have a lot of
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely would. Okay,
Nice.
so let's see what it did here. We broke it. Correlation ID. All right. So gonna run it. Now, some of this we could have added at the beginning, like, you know, put a logger in that gives this or that, and, you know, like give it all kind of information. But the thing about it is that I'd want to emphasize is that you see how it's a little tricky on getting it to understand what we want. And so I think there are things that make it get tripped up if you give it too much, almost like when we're prompting for real. And, you know, when we're giving prompts, then a lot of times it will, you got to be very simplistic and build it up to what you want and then modify it from there. So, but yeah, we're getting the correlation ID here. And a message, retrieve one order, retrieved orders, the filtering. So it's doing it. It gave us some loggers there. So there you go. Pretty pleased. Let's save our work. Go ahead and stop it. And that is a wrap for what I have today. Any questions or comments? We fought the battle and we got in.
Yeah, you did. You stayed after it and wound up winning.
Yes, that's the best part.
Yeah, that's right.
As you keep hammering away, don't stop. Don't stop.
I like sometimes that you can just communicate with it and tell it what you're needing, but I mean, it's kind of like Tony says, I think it just kind of understands certain things and just does other things, you know, so it's a work in progress, so it's going to come along. But the fact that you are already able to do what you're doing is huge.
Yeah.
I can see where that can be used to save time.
Definitely.
For sure. Anybody have any questions, comments? Now's the time. If anybody has any rolling, we definitely had some questions during it, so that was good. I'm always happy to see that. And if nobody does have any questions, I'm going to let y'all know what's going on next week. We're not going to be here. Not going to be here because we've got our main presenters, and then everybody's going to be, whoever's going to this is going. There's nothing live, but there may be a video after this. So this is where Digital D and Ryan are going to be next week. They're going to be presenting here at Dreaming in Data, and might be a video afterward. I don't know. It may wind up in the Integration Quest library. Who knows? We'll see what's playing, what's going on with that. But that's what's going on next week. So we're taking a little break, and then we'll be back the following week. So thank you all again, everybody, for attending. Thank you for presenting today and showing us Vibes some more and going into that. That was impressive. Great work, as always. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know it is
totally not practice at all. That was truly a live situation. Ryan would be proud because he always tells me, get in there.
Yeah, I don't think you can practice that because it's going to be a different response every single time. You know, like everybody had a different response on their own personal walkthrough that they were doing, I'm sure. So yeah. You got after it. That was great.
Fun stuff. Well, thank you all for being here. Alex, if you want to share at one of the upcoming study groups, or Tony and Evan, any of you all, Stephen, if